Hello, this is the Sovol SV08. Sovol was nice enough to send me this machine, and they asked me to make some videos of it, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to give my honest opinion of this machine and walk you through what happens with it step by step. In this video, I'm going to try and get as much of the parts of this machine out of the box, because this box is huge. So without further ado, let's crack her open and see what's inside. This is easily the largest 3D printer I've seen and owned. There's Sovol's info, nice little card. Nice. Big piece of foam. And we've got our user's manual and how to connect to the Wi-Fi. Give you guys a nice overview. Pretty nicely packaged, I'd say. Got some PLA filament. There's our plug for the USA. Nice big gantry. Good chunk of the frame. You can see the LED light strip there. Looks like our 4 axes, our filament clip or detector, low filament detector, and our extruder. Everything you'd like to see. There's our display screen. That is quite the build plate. Look at that thing. hand for scale. Sheesh. All right, let's try and take it out of the box. I believe the best way to do this would be to put this on the floor. And then pick it up. Word of advice, don't build this printer in a small space. It's a big boy. I don't even think I can get to the floor with it. Okay, it's got little corner holds. You're gonna pull those out. Straight up. And you should be able to remove the foam. Nope. With the grace of a ballerina, guys. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna stop putting the extruder on the build plate because it keeps sliding it off. I'm gonna read a bit in the user's manual on how to assemble this thing and start part 2. Thanks for watching. All right, so the first thing I've discovered from the manual is that there is a toolbox with all the parts and tools you'll need to assemble the printer, and that is in the same box the plug is in. So there are all our tools and our plug, and the first thing we need to do to start building this printer is attaching each of the 4 corners. There's Z1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to slide those into place and start building the printer. Let's go. This is the bottom of the build plate, and this is the Z1 corner. And you can see here, this is the Z1 part. And what we're going to do is there's a little channel right here. You need to rest that in this, and be careful not to mess up any of the wiring while you're doing this. We're gonna line that up there, and then it should slide right in like that. And then there's a couple spots to add screws here and on the side right here. There we go. I'm gonna make sure that's all the way up, and I'm gonna add those screws and do the other 4 legs. So as far as screwing in these posts, there's 4 different types of screws required, and they've got each one in a different bag. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. We've got the step 1 screws here, and judging by the picture here, they go in the top. This kit did come with quite a few tools. So I'm going to pop those 2 in the top first. that up. Go to step 2. All the screws are in this nice little bag here. Sorry, step 2 screws. To step 2. Goes right here. Perfect. Now we're going to turn this a bit. And it is recommended doing this on a table that doesn't scratch easily. Just a heads up. So you're going to be moving this thing all which ways. We got step 3 here. It says step 3 goes in the top hole right there. Perfect. And then step 4. It's going to go down here. Looks like that one does need a bit of a smaller or different size tool. Toolkit does come with a couple other, I think these are called hex wrenches. Perfect. All right, so we've got the first of the 4 done. I'm going to put the rest of those together, and then we'll be on to the next step. All right, we've got all 4, well, the manual calls these components. I keep calling them legs, but either way, all 4 of them are mounted on the base. So that's good. I'm going to see what's next to the instructions and keep building this thing. Okay, so the next step is to attach the top frame to the printer. So that's what we've got here. And it says it should basically just slide into place. Very nice. And then we've got these step 5 screws to add into the top. It looks like each side gets 2 screws. I'll go ahead and screw in one of these on camera for you. Takes this little bitty Allen wrench. And they just slide into these holes in the top here. And you just screw those in. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of those and then see what's next. It's like kind of a dumb note, but you wanna make sure you have the Sovol brand facing towards the front when you put this on. This is what it looks like when you finish screwing in those 2 screws. And now I'm gonna do the other 3 legs back here and over there. So for the next part, we're gonna be inserting the AB axis and mounting it onto the Z base. I know that sounds kind of funky, but basically these are the Z bases you're gonna be resting the AB axis on. And while I was looking at the printer, it is nice that they tape these wires up here, but I'm afraid I'm going to knock into them in this spot. And over here, this was sitting like this. So I kind of tucked it out of the way because I know the axis is going to be sitting on these. So before you do this, make sure you move your wires out of the way so you don't mess them up. There we go. Now we got no wires in the way. And we'll throw that AB axis in there. So with this part right here, there's going to be a portion of it that's kind of knocked out. On the back here, it's not really knocked out. This is the part you're going to want to insert first, the kind of flat back side of it. Let's see, it's rested on these back two. It's a pretty snug fit. Interesting. There we go. So yeah, there's very little tolerance in play, but if you wiggle it around a bit, you will be able to get it laying in there nice and flat. All right. Now to secure this in, there's two holes, one right here and one in the back there, and we're going to be using our old friend step 1 screws. I'm going to attach those screws to all 4 corners and then see what's next. That's what it should look like when you're done. All right, let's do the other 3. Backside does look a little different, but this hole and this hole are where you're going to add the screws. And this and that is what it should look like when you're done. All right. Now that we've got the AB axis completely screwed in on all 4 spots, we're going to be adding the spool holder. And we've got the front of the machine over here. The spool holder goes on the side. So we've turned the machine a bit, and I'm going to be attaching it next. This step, you need the step 6 screws. They have these little washer things and 2 screws. And we're just going to put a little washer on the screw and attach our spool holder. Let's see here, just like that. Perfect. The more I use this tool that came with the machine, the more I like it. It's got a really nice handle, a nice balance to it, and it's not stripping anything, which is a bonus. So yeah, whatever brand this is, it's pretty good. Our second screw in here. You know, can't really see what I'm doing. My bad. There's our screws. There is our spool holder, and that'll feed right into there. Sweet. Let's see what's next. So we're going to actually attach the spool holder thingamabobber to the spool holder thingamabobber. That locks in here like this. It's got a little thing that locks it in. Just spin that a bit. There we go. Very nice. All right, for this next step, we're going to be attaching this bad boy right here. And the first thing it says is to remove this cover. Now, when you do this, it is magnetically attached, so you can see little magnets back here. But there is one set of wires that runs to the fan on this cover. So we're going to need to gingerly unplug that and set it down. And then we're going to be attaching this onto here. I'm going to get the screws we need for that. This is step 7 screws. Moving along through the steps pretty nicely. There's our step 7 screws. And they go. Let's see if we can find the right tool for them. There we go. The first one. I'll bring it down a little bit. The first screw is going to go right here, maybe. See if we've got everything lined up right. Looks like it. Okay, so there's one here, and one up there. Do this little guy first. One more to go. And this one goes right in here. A little tricky. I may have tightened those first two a little too much. Yeah, I should be able to line that up. There it is. All right. Get that nice and tight, tighten up those other two. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna see what's next. Next it says to reattach this front cover. We're going to gingerly plug this back in here. Perfect. This next step took me a couple times reading over to figure out what exactly I'm supposed to do, but there is a cable connector right here. I thought it was supposed to go on the side of the printer, but it didn't quite reach there. What it actually does is it goes on the back. So we've got the printer turned around. This is the back of it here, and this is the hole that the cable management thingy screws into. So we're gonna screw that in there. It does say to make sure that your cables aren't tangled before you do this, but it's just this little thing right here, and it just screws onto the back right there. There it is. Perfect. All right, and I did take a sneak peek at the next page, and it is installing the faceplate. So I'm going to turn the printer around and put the, well, it's not the faceplate, it's the screen. So we're going to put that on the front next. So we've got it flipped around, and basically what we're going to be doing is plugging these two cables into the back here. They're nicely labeled. Number 2 goes into number 2. There's a little clip on the top of it. Get your orientation. I was trying to put it in upside down. There we go. And then these little parts slide into these cavities right here. And you slide them in there and just push it down to lock it in. One more step done. Nice. So for the next step, we've got a whole bunch of fun things to do. We're going to plug in a lot of stuff, and we're going to start on the back side here. So I'm going to flip the printer around and start plugging stuff in. First thing I'm going to start with is the filament runout sensor. And that's down here and right here. Perfect. Up next, we've got the filament sensor detector cable, and that goes here, and it's hanging out on the back here. So we're just going to grab that and plug it in right there. Boom. Wonderful. Next up, we're going to be dealing with these cables. So I'm going to untape these. And these do have interesting little labels on them. So we've got Y right there, and Y goes into this one. Over on the side, there we go. And then there's another one that says X, and the X goes over on this one. Wonderful. We spun the printer around a little bit. This is the Z leg, and this is a light connector. So we're just going to connect these two cables Just like that. Very nice. Still on the Z4 leg, we're going to go up to the top here, and this is a little cable that plugs into the LED. And that is right underneath here. Perfect. This last one was a little tricky. This is the camera connector, and I just could not find where it plugged into. This is one side of it, and I was looking all over the place for what this plugs into. It's actually taped on the side of the printer right here. So I'm going to untape that and plug these two in, and then we're done with that step. Perfect. The next step is to insert the PTFE tube. It says to take the longer end and insert it in the top here. There we go. That was easy. Then from there, we take our PTFE tube, we feed it through here, and then through here. Just like that. Very nice. The next step requires you to flip the printer onto its side. So this is the bottom of the printer. And what we're going to be doing is attaching these cables to the motors here underneath. Just like that. And there's 4 of them, one on each corner. A little tricky to get it lined up just right. There we go. And then down here. And this one is over here. Easy enough. Next step is to take a zip tie and run it through this little mount right here and zip tie this cable up here so it stays out of the way. So we're going to do that. There we go. I'm going to cut this little excess off of here and then proceed to the next step. We've got the machine flipped around, so this is the back side, and what we're going to do is feed these wires underneath here. And then there's this little clip thing that goes in to lock those wires in to keep them from kind of flopping around. Very nice. So now we're moving over to the Z1 leg. We've got it on, so this is the back side of the printer here. And what they want you to do is take this thicker cable and kind of wedge it between the motor and this printed part here. Just kind of shove it in there. And then, just like before, we're going to zip tie that cable right here. Looking good. The next thing we're going to do is zip tie the PTFE tube to the wires here above the extruder. So we'll add a few zip ties to that and keep them together. There we go. 1, 2, 3 zip ties. And that, boys and girls, is the complete setup of the Sovol SV08. I got it assembled and I didn't hurt myself and I didn't break anything. So I'm honestly pretty proud of myself. And this thing is substantial. Looks very sturdy, well built. On the next video, we're going to be getting into setting up the software and printing with this thing. Thanks for watching. Right, so we got the Sovol SV08 assembled, and now we're going to feed the filament through the PTFE tube here into the extruder and then go into the menu here and go down to where it says filament, and we're going to load some filament. All right, I'm going to let that run through and check back with you in a minute. All right, so it extruded a little bit of black filament, and that slowly turned to gray, and it said extrude finished. So there is our first little bit of filament out of the Sovol SV08. Let's see if we can print something. Well, we need to run it through a leveling thing, so we're going to do that real quick. Okay, so it recommends running it through a calibrating the Z offset. So we're going to go to leveling here, and it's the first option, calibrate Z offset. And this process takes about 6 minutes. This is what it says. It's going to run through all this stuff here if you want to pause. And then it's going to print these little circles on the print bed. Once it starts printing, I'll come back. But for the most part, it's just going to kind of heat up and jiggle around. So we'll check back in a minute. Okay, so it heated the bed to 65 degrees. And now it's probably just going to check a bunch of different points. And I'm just going to let it do its calibration. I'll shut up and we'll see what it does. So the screen down here says printing now. So I think it's going to start doing a test print. See how that goes. First print on my Sovol SV08. Looking pretty good so far. So if you've got one of these and you're doing this yourself, I am reading the manual here, and it says after completing this test, observe, the print, and if it looks like it does below, like here, round piece pictured like below, and then there's no picture down here. So what you want to do is turn the page. It should say pictured on the next page. So this is too low, that looks good, and that's too high. So let's see how it looks. Judging from the picture here, it looks like we are too high. So piece is pictured like C, too high. Please decrease 0.05 to 0.15 millimeter offset. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so it says turn the knob to print leveling, and then choose tune. Okay, choose Z offset. Wait. Okay, press the knob. During the print leveling test, rotate knob, choose tune. Yeah. That's impossible. It's already over. Okay, so this is round 2 to calibrate the Z offset. The first round, they looked like this. There we go. So yeah, definitely not spot on. So what it says is to run like a second Z offset. I did have to turn off the machine and then wait, I don't know, 10 seconds, turn it back on to be able to run a second Z offset calibration. You can't just run the next one, you have to turn the machine off for anybody out there using one of these. But we've got the second one up and running. And to change the Z offset tuning, so what I'm going to need to do, because this is not correct, is I'm going to need to reduce it by 0.05 millimeters. And the way to do that is while the test is running. So it says what I should do is tap the screen here, go to Tune, and then go down to the Z offset and reduce that by 0.5. Okay, it says you have to do it during the print level test, so it won't change right now. So we'll wait until it starts printing. I don't know, this method is a little tricky to follow, but I think I got the hang of it. So while you're doing the Z calibration test, wait till it starts printing, and then push the button, push the button, rotate down till you get to Tune, push the knob, choose Z offset, press the knob, and then rotate it to adjust the Z offset. So we're going to wait until it's printing. Okay, it says printing now. We're gonna go to Tune, go to Z offset. Okay, it's already at 0.05, so we're gonna take it down. It won't change. Okay. I guess I'll wait until it actually starts printing the thing. I forgot to take that off from the first test print. Okay, now it's actually printing. I'm gonna go to Tune. The offset. Okay, now it's at 0. Which is what we wanted at. We'll wait until it starts printing a circle, and if we need to adjust it. Looks a little better, but not quite. I'm going to reduce it by like 0.3. That looks like tangled filament. Okay. Interesting development. I kept this little piece on the spool like an idiot and it got caught on there. Okay, so stopped printing because the filament wasn't coming out, and it still looks like it's a little off. So I'll take it down to 0.5. And it does look better. The last one. Yeah, these two are my fault. This one definitely looks better than this one. So I will run another calibration test to try and lock that in a bit better, but that's basically how it works. As long as your filament doesn't get tangled, you can pretty much tell if your Z offset's right. So I'll try that again. Try and lock it in. All right, so this is round 3 of Z offset calibration. I'm going to turn the printer on. We're going to run it through the Z offset calibration, wait until it starts printing, and then tune the Z offset. I think we've got it pretty close, honestly. The last pass on the last one looked pretty good, but I'm going to run it one more time just to lock it in really nicely. So this is the best one from the last one, and this is how they were looking before. A bit thin, and this one is a bit more solid, except just around these edges here. Yeah. This is what it should look like. Nice and solid. This is how it was looking. So we're somewhere in between. Just trying to close in those little bitty holes right there. I forgot to start the calibration. Huh. But yeah, at this point, I'm just going to make really small changes. So 0.01, slowly reduce it down. So I think we're pretty close. It says it's heating the nozzle right now, so it should start printing here pretty soon. Clean the nozzle real quick. Printing out. Okay. I don't know, I'm still getting accustomed to this printer. So far, I'm pretty impressed. I got this in the mail today, was able to put it together, and now we're doing Z offset calibration. So far, so good for the SV08. SV08 from Sovol. Pretty cool. So this is my third time running this Z offset calibration. To save you a little time, the first time you run it, you can tune it while it's running. So watch it, print the first one. If you need to raise it up or raise it down, lower it, you can go into tune right here, and then Z offset. Lowered it by 4. And lower it again by 5. Bring it down another 5. You got it too close at that last round. A little thin, a little less thin, a little better, almost there, and then too much. I reduced it by like 10 right here, just too much. I'll run another test. Alright, so I'm running the Z offset calibration on the SV08 from Sovol. I think I finally got it figured out. So, you wait for it to do all this tapping and measuring on the print bed here. Then once it starts printing the test, you check the first circle. If it is too close, you're getting it too smushed, you need to raise the Z offset probably by about 0.05, and then watch it print the next one until you kind of lock in the distance you need. And if you start seeing holes in the initial print, you need to reduce the Z offset. So this is where I actually have to pay attention. Let's go. Tune, see offset, it's a negative 0.06. I'm gonna take it just to 0. Definitely too close now, so we're going to slowly move it up. 0.01. Take it to 0.04. Still seems too close. 0.07. It is 0.1. That should be pretty good. Still not quite where I want it. I'm going to run this calibration one more time. last one looks really good. I think we got it. Nice. Alright, so this is the Sovol SV08, and it comes preloaded with a 12-minute benchy. So let's see if it can print a benchy in 12 minutes. I'll come back when it actually starts printing. I don't know, I'll keep filming. It's pretty fast. 6 minutes in, and it's looking pretty dang good. thing really just jumps around, man. I do apologize for the quality of this video. I just got this printer, so I'll have to work out the proper angles to film this to get it to look nice. But this is the first proper print I've done on the Sovol SV08. It's a 12-minute benchy that was just loaded onto the printer. So I figured let's give it a try, and it looks really good. I will try to come in and give you guys a more detailed look at it. Look at that overhang. That's perfect. The front of the boat's really smooth. Those holes at the front look really nice. It's a pretty impressive first print. I think it might be a little closer to a 13-minute benchy, but still probably the fastest benchy I've ever done. I don't know why they've got it saying 12 minutes, and right here it's like 13. But, pretty good. I'm impressed either way. Still gotta do the chimney stack on top there. Fourteen minute benchy. Pretty nice though. Yeah, that looks pretty dang good.